First congressional district once again. As we said at the top of this half hour, it was a very close race last time around, very close race shaping up this time around. We are now going to spend the next few minutes talking about abortion. I don't remember an election in my lifetime where it was a topic that was so talked about at the federal level. So again, we are wanting to introduce you to people who don't maybe know who you are or know much about you and your stance on various topics. For people who do, maybe they want to learn more about where you stand on certain topics, which is what we're trying to do today. On the topic of abortion, though, it's been in the presidential debate, the vice president and the candidate for vice president both talked about it in their debate. Where are you at with it when it comes to addressing it on a federal level?
Yeah, this is such a hard issue.
Yeah.
You know, people have very strong feelings about it for very obvious reasons, you know, and I think that we do have to come to a compromise, some kind of a middle ground on that. What the Republicans in Iowa have done is way too extreme. We now have a 6-week abortion ban in Iowa that is one of the strictest in the country. And it bans abortion before most women even know that they're pregnant. And so I think that that is way too extreme for Iowa. We know that a vast majority of Iowans do not support that. And we are starting to hear already about women who are affected by it, who have ectopic pregnancies, and then the doctor is afraid to actually provide the care and the termination procedure for fear that their license will be revoked. We're hearing stories all over the country about women who are bleeding out in parking lots, or having to wait until they're basically septic, near death, to have an abortion. That's just too much. It's too much. And I'll tell you, it has repercussions all over the state. We have heard for years from OB-GYNs, who are doctors, who are telling us that the more strict abortion bans you have, the harder it is to recruit gynecologists to come to the state to live and work here. And we are seeing that happen. Labor and delivery centers like in Newton, Iowa, are closing. That means in most of the counties here in Iowa, there is not a single labor or delivery center or a gynecologist or obstetrician for people who want to have children. This is bad for all of us. This is not just about abortion. And so, look, this is just too extreme what we have right now. And Mariannette Miller Meeks has been a big part of this. For years, she has been out there talking about how she is 100% pro-life. She supported this 6-week ban when she ran for the Iowa Senate. In fact, Governor Reynolds endorsed Mariannette Miller Meeks for Congress, saying that she was a champion for this 6-week ban that we now have in Iowa. And when she got to Congress, Representative Miller Meeks signed on to a life at conception bill, that's what it's called, a life at conception bill, that bans all abortions across the entire country with no exceptions at all. Not for rape, incest, or to save a woman's life. And you don't have to take my word for that, because multiple newspapers, the Des Moines Register, other papers, TV stations across Iowa have all done fact checks on this and have said, yes, she signed on to sponsor that bill, and that it does in fact ban all abortions with no exceptions. She is now trying to backtrack from that. She's trying to mislead and put out other information and claim that she supports exceptions and all this kind of stuff. But her record is very, very clear on this issue. She has signed on to every abortion ban that has been put in front of her, and she will continue to do that if she is reelected to Congress. What I want to do is to put Roe versus Wade back into federal law where it was for half a century. That is a balanced approach, and I'll tell you, basically, it would just take us back to the status quo before all of this started happening just a few years ago. Not everybody was happy on abortion before. I understand that, but we had kind of a settled position on it for half a century. We knew where we were, and Iowa had a pretty good law under that framework. So, that's what we need to get back to, and that's what I'd support in Congress.
I was just going to ask, if elected to Congress, are there bills, are there types of legislation that you would be willing to sign off on? in regard to this topic?
What I want to do is to put Roe versus Wade back into federal law where it belongs, where it was for half a century. No more, no less. We are not talking about any extreme bills that allows abortion up until birth or after birth. It's a crazy thing people are saying. I don't even know what that means. I am talking about a very balanced approach, which is what we had, the status quo for half a century in this country. But I wouldn't stop there, because this is not just about abortion. Think about in vitro fertilization, IVF fertility treatments. We had a state that tried to ban IVF in this country. And in Alabama, Representative Miller Meeks and others had a chance to vote for a bill that would provide national protection for people to do IVF, so that states like Alabama couldn't ban that procedure. And Representative Miller Meeks said no, she would not vote for that bill. Birth control. There was a bill that would provide women with a right to birth control around the country, again, so that states couldn't ban forms of birth control. Representative Miller Meeks voted no on that bill. We have to protect these basic rights of reproductive freedom. This is really a matter of freedom, and it's a matter of health care for women all across this country. So I would support those very common sense measures in Congress.
Okay, and our conversation will continue after the break. Next topic coming up, immigration and border control.